Hello students, let us discuss module 4. Okay, in this module we have three chapters, that is classes and objects, classes and functions, classes and methods. Okay, for module 4 you have to refer another textbook, that is Think Python by Alan B. Downey, second edition. You can get the PDF from this link also. Okay, in this textbook you have to refer the chapter 15, 16 and 17. Okay, first we will discuss about the classes and objects. Okay, till now we have studied about strings, functions, lists, tuples, dictionaries, etc. We studied how to use functions to organize code and built-in types to organize data. Now we discuss about object-oriented programming, which uses programmer-defined types to organize both code and data. Programmer-defined type also called a class. Okay. As we know, Python is an object-oriented programming language, and class is a basis for any object-oriented programming language. Class is a user-defined data type which binds data and functions together into single entity. Class is just a prototype which will not consume any memory. An object is an instance of a class and it has physical existence. One can create any number of objects for a class. A class can have a set of variables. We can also call that as attributes or member variables and member functions, also known as methods. We can create a class using a keyword class. For example, here we have class point. Okay, now here that point in mathematical notation, point that represents a point in two-dimensional space. Points are written in parentheses with a comma separating the coordinates. For example, x comma y. Okay, here x comma y together we can call as one point, where x units to the right, again y units to the up. Now using Python you can write these coordinates in different ways. One, we could store coordinates separately in two variables x and y. We could store the coordinates as elements in a list or tuples. And third method, we could create a new type to represent points as objects. Okay, now we'll discuss the third method. Okay, here we have the example class point. Again, inside that we have the keyword pass. Here we have the another method class point. Inside that class we have one string. Okay, here in this method class, that is the empty class. Okay, we are not writing any data member or member function inside that particular class. Here to that we are just using one keyword pass. Pass statement is null operation. Nothing happens when it executes. It is useful as a placeholder when a statement is required syntactically, but no code needs to be executed. Okay, here we are creating the empty class, and inside that class we are just using the keyword pass. Pass means nothing happens when it executes. Okay, another type class, you can create the empty class. Okay, here one more type class point, and here we are writing one string. Okay, suppose if you write any strings using three double quotes, means and it won't do anything. That means here that string represents someone can understand the purpose of that particular class. Okay, it is just like a comment. Okay, nothing happen when it executes. Okay, now here we are creating empty class. Now suppose if you give the command like point, that is the class name, it will display the output class then main underscore main underscore dot point. Okay, here the term main indicates that the class point is in the main scope of the current module. In other words, this class is at the top level while executing the program. Now user defined type point, that is point, that is the user defined type created, and this can be used to create any number of object of this particular class. Okay, using this class you can create any number of objects. Okay, for example, okay, here we have one object, that object name is blank. Okay, now while creating the object for that particular class, you can call the class as a function. Okay, for example, we are just calling that class as a function, and we are assigning that function return value of that particular call is reference to a point object which we assign to blank. Return type of the function that we are assigning to another variable blank. Now that blank, that is the object of a class point. Okay, now if you give blank, that is object name, okay, it will return the address, that is the address of that particular variable or address of that particular object. Okay, now we will discuss about the attributes. An object can contain named elements known as attributes. One can assign values to these attributes using the dot operator. Now take the same example, that class point class. Okay, again we have created the object for that point class, that is blank. Now using that object you can assign the values for the variable. Again, if you consider the point, we have two values in that coordinate. We have two values x and y. Now we can assign the values for this x and y variable using the object blank dot x equal to 3.0, blank dot y equal to 4.0. So okay, suppose if you give print blank dot x, print, then inside the bracket if you give blank dot x, it will print the value of x, that is 3.0. Again if you give blank print blank dot y, it will display the value of y, that is 4.0. Or you can, if using this prompt, if you give blank dot x blank dot y, it will just display the value of that. Now suppose if you want to calculate the distance, or if you perform some other operations using that variable, you can use like this, that object name with variable name. Okay, here we are just calculating the square root of x and y, so you can give blank dot x star star 2, again blank dot y star star 2. Through that object we have to use the variables. Okay, one example program. Okay, here how we can use that class. Again we are taking the same class point. Initially that point class, that is empty class, that just contain one. Okay, sorry. Now we have the class point. Initially that class is the empty class. Again here we are using three functions in that class, okay, or three methods. One is the read point method, second is the print point method, and third one is the distance method. Okay, now that read point method, it will receive x and y attributes of a point object as user input, and print underscore point, that will display one point in the form of ordered pair. Again we have the distance method, which takes two objects of a point class as argument and compute the square root of a given values, or it will compute the distance. Now this is the function definitions. Inside the read point we have the input function. Okay, it will read the input from x value from the user and x value from the user, and it will just assign that value to the object variable p, that is p dot x, again y value to p dot y. Okay, then we have the print function. It will just print the value of x and y, p dot x, again p dot y, p is the object. Again distance function, it will just calculate the distance using the square root function. Okay, after that here we are creating the object point p1 equal to point, enter the first point, then pass that object as the parameter for the read function. Again second p2 equal to point, again pass that p2 as the parameter for the read function. Okay, then for the distance function we are passing two parameters, two objects p1 and p2. Using that two objects, just print the value of p1, again print the value of p2. Okay, here using the distance function calculate the distance. Finally display the output of that distance function. Okay, here output of that program, enter the first point, under that we have x and y value, enter the second point, that is the second object values x and y, then first point 10, 20, second point 3, 5. Finally it will display the distance. Okay, now we will discuss how we can make an object of one class as an attribute to other class. For example, imagine you are designing a class to represent rectangles. We can create this rectangle in different ways. First method, by knowing width, height of a rectangle and one corner point, you can design the rectangle. And second method, by knowing two opposite corner points, we can design the rectangle. Okay, now let us consider first technique, that is by knowing width, height and one corner point, we can design the rectangle. Okay, here first we have to create a class rectangle containing numeric attributes width and height. This class also contains one more attribute, that is corner, which is an instance of another class point. Okay, point class we already discussed in the previous slide, that has two attributes x and y. Okay, now this corner, that is instance of that particular class point. Okay, now how we can create the class? Okay, here we are creating two empty classes, that is class point and class rectangle, and that contains two doc strings. First class, that is point class, that contains the doc string. Again second class, that also contains the doc string. That means as of now they do not contain any class level attributes, that is the empty class. Again that class then contains three functions. First function, that is a print point, to print corner point as an ordered pair. Then a function find center, to compute center point of the rectangle. Again that contains one more function, that is resize, to modify the size of the rectangle. So first we are creating the object for the rectangle class. Box equal to rectangle, that creates an object of rectangles. Then we have two statements, box dot width equal to 100, again box dot height equal to 200. Indicates the object has two more attributes. Okay, then we have the statement box dot corner equal to point. Here that indicates that corner is an attribute for the object box, and this attribute itself is an object of the class point. And this is the object of the class point. Again corner, that is the one of the attribute that is present in the box object or in rectangle class. In this program we are treating the corner point as the origin of the coordinate system. So box dot corner dot x equal to 0, again box dot corner dot y that equal to 0. Okay, now x and y, that is the attributes of the point class, and corner, that is the object created for the point class. Again corner, that is one of the attribute of the box object. Okay, now we will discuss the function definition of the that three functions. Find center takes an object rect as an argument. The object rect acts as an alias for the argument box. The function find center returns the computed center point. The return value of your function here is an instance of some class. Return p means that is the instance of the point class. The function resize that takes three arguments. Rect, first argument that is the rect, that is an instance of the rectangle class, and two numerical variables that is w and h. The value w and h are added to existing attributes width and height. Then we have one more point function, that is print point. Okay, it will print the corner points as an ordered pair. Okay, here we have the code. First, original rectangles, it will print the value of the original rectangle, that is the width and height of that rectangle. Then we are calling the find center function. Okay, in that find center function we are passing the object as the argument. Again we are printing the initial value of that center, that is 0 0. Okay, then we have the function called that is resize. Okay, in that we are passing three arguments. First is the object and say two values, that is width and height. This resize function, it will modify the width and height of that rectangle. Then again we are printing the new width and height of that particular rectangle. Okay, here output original rectangles, that is 100 and 200. Center of the rectangle, that is 50, 100. Rectangle after resize, that is 150, 270. And center of resize rectangle, that is 75, 135. Here in this program what we are doing is we are just make an object of one class as an attribute to the other class. For example, point, there is one class, we are just passing that as an attribute for the rectangle class. Okay, now these objects are mutable. What do you mean by mutable? We can just modify the values of that particular object. Okay, now here we have the rectangle class. Objects are mutable. You can change the state of an object by making an assignment to one of its attributes. For example, to change size of a rectangle without changing its position, you can modify the values of width and height. Okay, for example, here box dot width equal to box dot width plus 50 means box dot width, that is the previous value. For that we are adding the value 50, number 50, so that you will get the new value. Okay, that means these objects are mutable. We can just modify the attribute values of that particular object. Again, you can also write functions that modify the objects. For example, here we have grow rectangle function that takes rectangle object and two numbers, d width and d height, and adds the number to the width and height of the rectangle, so that we'll get the new width and height. Okay, if you try to print the value of that initial value, that is 150 and 300, after calling the grow rectangle function, now width and height, that is 200 and 400. That means objects are mutable. Okay, next we'll discuss about the copying. Okay, an object is aliased whenever there is an object is assigned to another object of the same class. An object is aliased whenever there an object is assigned to another object of same class. Okay, many ways one object is assigned to other object. First method, direct object assignment. For example, P2 equal to P1. Okay, here directly we are assigning the value of P1 to P2. Second method, when an object is passed as an argument to a function. Okay, in previous program we have discussed, okay, for example, okay, here find center box. Okay, here we are just passing the object as an argument to the function find underscore center. And one more method, that is when an object is returned from a function. For example, okay, here we are just returning the object p to the function from the function, that is find center. Okay, here we have one example. First we are creating the object for the point class, then we are initializing the values of that point class, that is x and y variables. Okay, last statement, that is p2 equal to p1. Assign the object p1 to p2. Okay, now if you give print of p1 again print of p2, okay, observe that both p1 and p2 objects have same physical memory. Okay, this memory location again this memory location, that is same. Okay, it is clear now that object p2 is an alias for p1. Hence we can check, if you check the equality and identity of these two objects, we will get the output true, that is p1 is p2. Here also output is true. p1 equal to p2, here also output is true. That means p1, that is alias of p2. Okay, but sometime we need a copy of an object but not alias. To do this, Python provide module called copy and a method called copy. Okay, here we have the statement import copy. That means first we have to import that module. Under that module we have a method copy. Okay, for this particular method we can create the copy of an object but not an alias. Okay, for example, here after using this copy method, if you give print of p1 and print of p2, just observe that memory location of p1 and memory location of p2, that is different, but values of attributes, that is p1 attribute again p2 attribute, that is same. Okay, if you give p1 is p2, you will get the output false. Again p1 equal to p2, that output is false, because p1 and p2, that is pointing to the different memory location, but values that is present in that two particular objects, that is same. Okay, here we have one more method, that is deep copy. Okay, it provides a method, that copy module provides a method named deep copy that copies not only the object but also object it refers to and the objects they refer to. For example, here we have the statement box 3 equal to copy dot deep copy of box. If you give the command like box 3 is box, here we have false. Again box 3 dot corner is box dot corner, that is also false. Okay, here box 3 and box, that is the objects. Okay, here this using this deep copy method, we are assigning that box object to the box 3 object, but that memory location of that box 3 and box, that is completely different. Again corner, that is one of the attributes that is present in that box class as well as box object as well as box 3 object. If you try box 3 dot corner is box dot corner, again here we will get the output false. Box 3 and box objects are completely separate objects. To do this, we have to use the method deep copy. Okay, that method that is present under the module copy module. Okay, thank you.